Hi, hello, I'm welcome. It's an OJL. As you can see, OJL stands for Oracle Juice Live. That means that there's alcohol involved. If down the clown, I'm just if you don't like it, it's fine. Just skip this one. Or if you have a stronger stance against it, just skip the whole panel. You know what I mean? Find your tribe, find your people. Ooh, I'm gonna do something. We can call it inspired today. We're gonna start with a kiss. That's not the inspiration, but I just got these. I've been like tearing them up. And it's like this color. And they were in like this little satchel with like the roses, the flowers. They were so cute. One of my aunts had a birthday party today. And it's interesting because it was 3 years ago? 2022. It was 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years and maybe like 2 months because I feel like it was around October, November, maybe at the same location because there was a whole thing, right? Anyway, today we'll say I'm inspired. Taking inspiration. I didn't grab my glasses. There they are. And it is the full moon Aquarius today. Yesterday was the 8/8 Lionsgate. I am still loving how that last reading went. This video was not sponsored by Mountain Dew, PepsiCo, whoever. This is the alcohol that I have, so it's what I'm drinking. Excuse me, I had a sex on the beach for like the first time today. I didn't know it had pineapple juice, which is probably why I've never gotten it before. It was decent. It was with tequila instead of vodka, though. I don't really like vodka, if I'm being honest. Excuse me, if I'm being honest. And I guess I am. So, we are going to get a totem spirit today. So I'm going to pull one of the wild and known animal spirits because it's like the only animal deck that I have. And then I'm going to pull an archetype to further clarify the spirit. After I get a spirit, because I have a few decks, I'm going to go for one that vibes, and I don't know if I'm going to start at the moon since it's a full moon or what. I was going to go live earlier, but then I was like, I wasn't, and now I am. So, all right. So the spirit, I want a clean flip or a clean fall. The alligator just made noise, or crocodile just made noise, but it didn't. Oh, okay. That was like such a swift fall. It was quick, it was clean. Bottom of the deck to keep in mind is the whale. The two cards that came out, it's the butterfly and the deer. We've been seeing deer quite a bit lately. Deer came out. This is interesting because the deer came out. It may have been the final card one day, and it wasn't saying anything. It was just like there watching. So for it to now come out when I'm thinking of having this be a totem spirit, for some kind of walk or journey. It's interesting that it's made an appearance. About as interesting as it was that there was that whole like Sagittarius void in the fire air star. And it just so happened like the MC, the timing of the reading just so happened to complete it. And then it was broken before the reading was over. I still haven't gone back to see why it popped up then. I probably won't. Just like I don't remember when we were seeing the deer before. Now, because the deer is coming out with the butterfly, it feels more like, especially because the deer was sitting and watching, I want to say a transformation has already taken place with the butterfly. Excuse me, and that's why deer is ready to be a totem guide now. With the bottom of the deck being the whale, this is a transformation that occurs deep enough that it affects our ability to perceive either the world around us or something internal, and to receive certain insights because of it. All right. What is the arc? Ooh, who was that? She didn't flip or fall. She made noise like the alligator. The Wanderer made noise like the alligator, but I'm not going to take it. It didn't flip or fall. It's interesting. The alligator wanderer. Again, because the last time we saw the deer, it was just like watching. Alligator crocodile has a similar energy where they kind of just like watch from the water. So it's like the crocodile was passing through at whatever point, also watching, wandering, but it's like it's moving on. Now, because the whale is at the bottom of the deck, I feel like if the crocodile had ended up coming out, it would have been more interesting because they share that element of water, which means like they share a certain depth. Like the crocodile has a powerhouse mitochondrial energy. I almost want to say it's some kind of ancestral energy because distant ancestor. Because the deer have been on the land for a while now. Maybe. All right. This deck is like, see how much I got to stretch my hand just to get my mitts around it? And there's a clean flip of grace. And what is the deer if not graceful? Wow, wow, wow. Cool. I should have picked something for the nature of the journey. Bottom of the deck is the arbiter. Now, if I had the Tarot of the Abyss, I would use that. There is a certain grace to the butterfly, too. Well, I would say the butterfly is more gentle than it is graceful, but the way that it dances through the air, there's an element of grace. HGHI. Green Man, Grace. Grace personifies physical precision and refinement of movement, the essence of balanced composure. Grace is unfazed by heights, tall trees, slippery slopes, and violent crosswinds. Runner, acrobat, dancer, tightrope walker. Grace is elegant, but not by effort and strain. When your mind and body become heavy and awkward, grace will give you poise and help steady your nerves. Grace's muscles ripple like water passing over rocks, responding to surroundings like all true athletes. Grace moves with, not against, the forces of nature. A lightness of step is as much a matter of spirit as it is of body. Poise and elegance are ingrained into the fabric of Grace's being. To watch Grace is to be soothed and assured by the calm confidence of every motion. In Grace, you can see all the animal kingdom, the rise and fall of the leopard's shoulders as it glides over the grasslands, the breakneck vertical dive of the kestrel striking, and the arcing leap of the steel heeled gazelle as it springs from danger. Grace's electric reactions refine coordination to exquisite perfection. But this is Elan. But this Elon, I don't know how to pronounce that word, is not merely physical. Elegance is personified through all Grace's mannerisms. Grace is, by definition, the embodiment of beauty. Now we'll read Grace's tale. A storm was coming, but the great oaks felt confident that their deep roots, massive limbs, and powerful trunks would protect them from anything the winds might bring. Looking down at the young trees spread around their feet, they doubted the saplings would survive the night. When the storm arrived, it was more powerful than the oaks had imagined, tearing into them, stripping away leaves and branches, wrenching their roots from the soil, and eventually toppling them. Lying broken on the forest floor, the big trees looked with envy as the saplings swayed and danced, impervious to the wind's wrath. Oof. Big oof energy. Huge oof energy. BOE. Big oof energy. And then we have this came out with the butterfly, right? So it's in that flexibility of the saplings that they survive the storm. With Uranus in Gemini, but also with Uranus and Gemini trining Pluto and Aquarius, and this full moon also being in Aquarius, Sun being in Libra. When it comes to whatever tower energy, flexibility is like the key to surviving the storm. And again, grace moves with those forces of nature, it doesn't move against it. That's what the old trees had in mind to do, to double down, reground, and to survive or to outlast the winds. But it was the young saplings that bowed and bent and therefore survived. Because this is a full moon in Aquarius, that is roughly conjuncting Pluto and trining Gemini. It's like it's when like two stars, their gravitational orbits, like one star passes another and like pulls planets, like a solar system. Planets in a solar system are like hopping stars. Okay. With the grace and elegance of the deer. I could use the Line Strider Tarot. And I've been wanting to use a deck that I don't really use. Or that I haven't used. But I only have like the mini Line Strider. And it should be like here. Hello? Oh, here it is. Maybe because of the art style, she gives like grace and effortless beauty. But it's like a little thing. This Line Strider, little tiny thing. I wanted to look. Mooncat has been on my mind lately. I could still look before and after the Mooncat, but I feel like it wouldn't. Because the whale is here, there could be something borrowed. Right. This speaks of a larger cycle. And with the element of grace too. Like, let's say, for instance, I know I've heard of like Planet X or whatever years ago. Probably like a decade at least at this point. Maybe about a decade, because around 2015 sounds right. Um, but it's like there's a planet or planets, but we'll say a planet for simplicity's sake, on the outside of the solar system, like an outer planet. And there's like solar system A and solar system B, right? This planet has been in solar system A for as long as anyone alive would know, and as far back as modern technological ability, excuse me, to perceive celestial bodies in our solar system. And then there's a planet, another star, that comes by. And when that planet is the furthest from the sun and simultaneously, I guess, close enough to the star, it will fall into that planet's orbit. Now, to us, because our lives are so short and because, you know, what, like, when was Pluto even like seen? Where's Google? Where's the phone? Hey, Google, when was Pluto discovered? Hello, I think I've recovered the stream. Oof. I will not do that again. But I hope I won't do that again. Oh, I love new YouTube. I don't know. It's like never to recover a stream. Yeah. So anyway, Pluto was discovered in 1930, right? So not even 100 years ago. Excuse me, which is interesting. It's interesting that it hasn't even been 100 years, if Google is to be believed. It's interesting that it hasn't even been 100 years since Pluto has been discovered, and we have so much to say about it. And so everything about Pluto in Aquarius, because it hasn't even been 100 years. I wish I had my iPad to see where it even was, like what sign it was in. We'll say, because it's like what, roughly 250 years. Pluto was discovered in 1930, Feb 18, 1930. It's an Aquarius now, so maybe it was discovered somewhere around Leo. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's interesting that we have so much to say about Pluto transits, but like, I guess we do what we don't what we do. I feel like anybody that I've heard talking about it, most people that I've heard talking about it, take a stance of like, no one alive knows what this transit is like, which is fair. But also, it's like, we look back, like last time Pluto was in this sign, it's all calculations, it's all math. But we're applying math to a point in time where we didn't even know that it was in the sky. That's neither here nor there. I mean, it is. Anyway, it feels like the planet that we are accustomed to being in our solar system isn't, like, it doesn't belong in our solar system, or it spends more time in another. But since we've had the power to observe it, roughly when the planet was discovered, it's been here, right? The more I like sort of feel into this, because there's an energy, it feels like a kind of loss, but it's losing something that we never had ownership of, or that never belonged in the first place. Cool. Where are we going to start? I mean, since we're talking about Pluto, I could start with Judgment. We'll get a clean flip or clean fall. That's where we'll start. You know what? Yeah, we'll start with the clean flip. Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers.